Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Here are some tips for using the Preview app on your iPhone with images. So the Preview app on the iPhone is new in iOS 26, and it's similar to the Preview app that's been around on Mac for years. It allows you to view PDF files and image files, and also mark them up, draw on them, add text, add arrows, and make some changes. Like for instance, I'll show you how you can crop and export images in a different format. Now I'm only going to deal with images here. I did a video previously that dealt with PDF files. You have many ways to get an image into the Preview app to work with it. For instance, you can go to Preview itself, and then you have a little file browser down here. You can even expand it to fill the entire screen there, and you could browse through your files just like in the Files app, looking through everything you've got on your iPhone and in iCloud Drive and other cloud systems that you have connected to your iPhone. You can also go into the Files app, and with an image, by default, if you tap it, it will open up in Preview. But if you tap and hold, you actually get all of the options, including to open with, and you could see here that Preview says the default, but you could also set Preview with Quick Look as the default. It just puts a check mark there, and then you're back to just previewing like that without ever leaving the Files app. If you did that, then now you would have to tap and hold and open with, and then select Preview in order to open it in Preview. Also, in the Photos app, you can tap and hold an image and then select Share. And with Share, you can look for Preview here as one of the icons. By default, you won't see it there, but you can go to More, and this is where you can customize by tapping Edit which items are here at the top under Favorites. Once you have Preview there, then it will always appear here, and then you could tap Preview to export an image from your Photos library and open it as a file in Preview. It'll save a copy to the Preview folder in iCloud Drive to do that. Any way you do it, you will end up being able to view the image in Preview. And once you're viewing it, you can now work with it to mark it up and do some other things. My first tip is this button down here, the I button or information button. Tap that, and you are going to get a huge list of all of the metadata for this image. It reveals everything, even the GPS location coordinates and everything that's saved as metadata for this image. What's here depends on how you created this image. If you simply created this image on your own in an image editor, graphics app, or something like that, then you may end up with very little metadata here. Now, one of the main things you may want to do with an image is to add text to it. So to do that and a lot of these other things, you need to enter markup mode. Tap the little markup button here at the bottom left, and now you're in markup mode. And then you'll see the markup mode indicated here at the top, and you can tap there to exit markup mode. Now, you have a variety of different pens and highlighters and all sorts of things here at the bottom that you could choose from. We'll look at those in a minute, but the plus button reveals a lot of extra functionality, like the ability to add text. You can tap Add Text there. Then you can change its color with this dot here. You could tap here and change the font. You can make it larger, for instance, by tapping right there. Let's make it bold. You can change the font there, choose a new one like this. And then you can tap and drag the text around and place it where you want on the image. And then just continue to work on it. So I can, for instance, change its color. Let's make it white there. Now you may also want to add an arrow to point to something. So you could use that same plus button there, and you can use Add Shape. And one of the shapes here is an arrow. And then you've got an arrow. You can use the two blue dots there to drag around at the ends. Tap on the line here to change the color, and then also the thickness for the line like that. And you can also tap here and decide where the arrowheads go. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MACMOST through Patreon. Get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. But you may want to add other kinds of shapes. Like for instance, if you look at the circle shape there, you may think, well, why do I want a big circle like this? But you can change the color to no fill and then change the border with the second button here to a color. Let's make it a little thicker like that. And now you've got a shape here that you can reposition, resize as you like to circle an area. It's a little tricky to work with shapes like this. Sometimes it really helps to zoom in with 2 fingers, so it's easier to grab what's there. But I also find using the selection tool here, you could easily circle something and then it'll select it. In this case, it got the arrow and the circle. So let's just get the circle like this. And then once it's selected, it's fairly easy to move it around like that if you like. Now you can also add more things here. One of the things you could add is a sticker. And stickers are things that you may have previously created using emoji characters or grabbing things from images that you made. But you also could just do plain like emoji characters and other stickers that you may get from third-party apps. So you can add a simple emoji character like that, resize it, move it around to where you want. But if you just want to draw, you've got all these drawing tools. So many of these pens down here are just different ways to draw. A second tap on each one will give you a thickness and also an opacity. And you can also tap here and change the color that you're drawing with. So then you could just draw something here, whatever you like. And if you're a better artist than me, you might be able to draw something interesting over your image. Now, while learning all this, you're going to make lots of mistakes. So it's useful to know how to undo. You do have a quick undo here with the 3 dots or more button at the top right, and you can undo anything like that drawing there, and you can also redo it. But also, if you tap once with 3 fingers on the image, you get the little undo redo toolbar here that you can use. Now, one last thing that's really cool to be able to add to this is the loop. And a loop is a circle like this, but you can change the size of the circle and the magnification. It's like a little magnifying glass. And you could drag it around to magnify a part of an image. You can even add more than one loop to the image if you want. Now let's exit the markup tools and let's look at how you can crop an image. Cropping an image means first selecting it. So you use a selection tool here, and then you could drag the corners or sides to crop the image as much or as little as you want. Let's do like that. And then you can copy the selection or crop it. And another thing you may want to do is export the image. You won't find that here in More. You will find it here in the Title menu, which allows you to rename the file in place, move it, duplicate it, and so on. There's an export function. And the export function lets you pick the format. So you can export, say, as a JPEG, and then pick the quality, which will reduce the size here. And you can see the estimated size of the export. And this will save it out as a new image to a location that you want. And by the way, if you want to do a lot of this with photos in your photos library, there's no need usually to go to preview because the markup tools that are in preview are also in photos. So select your photo here and then tap the adjustment tools down here. You'll see all your regular adjustment tools like cropping and filters and stuff at the bottom. But at the top, you'll see a markup button. Tap that and you'll see all of these same tools available right here in photos. So for instance, you could add, say, the loop. And then the great thing about photos, of course, is that even after you save it like this, you'll see the photo has that change, but you could always go back into it. And when you edit it again, you've got the revert button because Photos always remembers the original copy. Here are a few other tips. You've got the ability to copy a subject out of a photo in a variety of places, including here in the Photos app. So for instance, if I wanted to just have the zebra here, I could tap and hold the zebra and then select copy, and then I could use it somewhere else. Like here in Messages, I could just paste that in and I just paste the zebra, not the background. But you have the ability to kind of do the opposite with the image right here in preview. You can tap the More button and then there's Remove Background. So it'll leave the subject there and get rid of the background. So one thing you can do with images in preview that you can't even do with the preview app on the Mac is you can start with a blank image. Here's how you do it. In preview, when you start it up, you just choose New Document and you choose Empty Image or New from Clipboard. If you choose Empty Image, you could always paste something into it or start drawing. So while Preview is a pretty basic graphics app for your iPhone, At least it's a graphics app. You can do some things with it that you couldn't do before on your iPhone unless you went and got a third-party graphics app. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Want to know about every new MACMOST video each week? Sign up for the absolutely free MACMOST email newsletter at macmost.com/newsletter.